Record. All right. Hello, everyone. My name is Nick, better off known as Finance Nick. Whoever knows me from before, welcome to my webinar with Sincere. I'd like to thank the whole Sincere Systems team for having me as a speaker. And today I will be doing an overview of the company, Sincere Systems Group, based in the UK, the opportunities that they offer, how they work, the internal structure of the company. We will begin, of course, with a little bit of philosophy, how money works, and just really dive into what the company does and helps people to achieve. So let's begin. The very first thing we should understand, and especially for those of you who are beginner investors, so to speak, why should you invest, right? So let's look at the graph right here. We can see that our life splits up into three main stages, right? Obviously, not very detailed, but there are three main stages that we follow, and that includes, your childhood, your adolescence, your college career, finishing university, and sort of, doing the trial of life demo version of your life over with by the time you're about 21, 22 years old. Between the time you're 22 to 60 years old, you are in the investment period. You're in the period where you are building your career, you're building businesses, you're building investment opportunities, you are making money so that past 60, you do not have to work. Now, if we look at the graph carefully, we can see that between 22 and 60 years old, there is a point where the graph stops growing. Now, this sort of indicates that whatever career you do choose in your life and whatever you really do in your life, whether it has to do with corporate work, there is a level that you achieve. You become the top manager of a company where you stop growing. And now I know a lot of people, we got relatives, parents who are in that situation, sort of the generations before us, know even better that growth stops at a certain point. And this is exactly why you should invest, because you have to, first of all, keep in mind that investment is not only property. There is a lot of other investments that we can do. We're going to take a look at them in the next slide. But investment allows you to diversify the income that you receive and the capital growth that you achieve over time between this period, so that you can achieve the same level of growth or even more before you hit 60. So when you're 30, when you're 35, if you're now 30 and you start investing, you can achieve the same level that you would have at 60 by the time you're 35 or 40 years old. That's great. So let's take a look at some of the investments that exist. Some of the things that you might be familiar with are real estate, right? And buying property. We got bank deposits. We got precious metals, gold, silver, and so on. Securities, bonds, cryptocurrencies is something relatively new, the past decade, so to speak. And of course, in regards to this company, Sincere Systems, Forex rate speculation, right? We'll get into that now. So there are all these types of investments and all of these opportunities for you to learn, to develop, first of all, not only personally, but to develop a portfolio of investments that allow you to grow even when you are not working. Now, we are talking about something called passive income. Many of you might be familiar with this concept. So a passive income allows you to, every dollar that you have, generate more money. Every dollar has to generate another dollar, I like to say. And the same thing goes with passive growth. If you have money lying around that isn't working for you, well, you could say, in at least in most economies in the world, that inflation will eventually eat it up. So you're actually losing money by laying it, like leaving it around and not actually putting it to work. So in regards to this presentation, we are looking at a way to diversify our portfolio to achieve capital growth from different sources, not just property, but in this case, investing in Sincere. Now, what is Forex? For those of you who don't know, the foreign exchange is a global economy in and of itself. So it's a huge opportunity for people to speculate on the appreciation and depreciation of currencies relative to each other. So if you're buying, this by, when you go visit a country, you buy dollars. If you go visit Russia, you buy rubles, so that you may purchase anything in the country in the local currency. Now, a lot of people, professional traders, the average Joe, investors, beginners who, in trading specifically, make quite a bit of money on this, and especially if you know what you're doing. Now, obviously, it is extremely risky if you don't know what you're doing, how markets work, how to trade, currencies relative to each other, and how to make money on this, how to speculate on the currencies. You will lose money in the beginning, but this is how everyone begins. So this is a little bit about Forex. We can see the graph on the presentation shows us that the growth of the foreign exchange turnover over some of the years from 2007, even before the economic crisis, we can see that 2019 is extremely high, and the number is in the billions. So it's a great market and a lot of money to be made. So before we really dive into what the company is internally, we're sort of finishing up the philosophical precursor aspect to this presentation. Let's take a look at, why algorithms, why programs, computer programs specifically, are better than trading manually. So instead of me and you sitting down, learning what trading is, understanding what it is, at least trying it ourselves, losing money if, we decide to play with a lot of money. Why are algorithms better? Well, first of all, you don't need to pay a computer. You need to pay for upkeep of a computer system or algorithm that is at work, but you do not have to rely on the human factor, right? We know that if a company has live traders, something that's great in a cryptocurrency trading scheme, because the cryptocurrencies are quite volatile and quite new in the market. Foreign exchange has been around for quite some time. So we know that the human factor exists. There's never sick leave, there is artificial intelligence, which is something we'll talk in the next slide. Algorithms and computers in general are more profitable. Why? Because of the next point, instant performance. It's the decision-making aspect of computers, algorithms, programs that, sort of replace the human factor in doing everyday things. We got our phones, we got our computers, and in this case we have a program that trades by itself, a robot, an AI robot that trades by itself. And again, the decision-making aspect to it is that a person can only so quickly calculate, especially if it's a beginner. If we're talking about a professional trader cannot calculate and see these fluctuations in the market and make money on them as fast as a computer would, right? So typically we see that computer systems do supersede manual trading. Let's talk a little bit about artificial intelligence. And this is where, this company Sincere comes in, because they have an AI bot that does all the work, as mentioned. So the advantages are that, a lot of banks and exchanges are reducing their human teams, qualified traders and analysts and managers. There's a whole structure to making money here, that banks use, that are now replacing with artificial intelligence. We know that, for a person to learn a language, let's say, or anything really, we need, at least 6 months, a year, 2, 3 years. It could take much longer. Some people don't learn a language over the period of their life, and they end up speaking one language their entire life, which is fine. It's just the point is, everything takes time. Now, artificial intelligence takes these tasks, like learning a program, learning how to trade online, how to speculate, how to make money much more quickly. So an artificial intelligence, AI robot allows to learn and understand a market extremely quickly. In the matter of days, weeks, months, the robot becomes more and more intelligent and understands that the decisions that have been made in the past, the decisions that have been made in the future, depend on the learning process that existed in the development, in the entire process, in the entire time period of its existence. It's basically like a baby growing up in the matter of months instead of a matter of years. And this is great, because instead of, again, a computer program trading, now we have an artificial intelligence algorithm that not only trades according to the program it's set with, but learns from past mistakes, past profits, in order to not repeat mistakes and in order to make more profitable gains in the future. So this is really the huge advantage of artificial intelligence. Now, a little bit off topic, a little bit off the presentation, so to speak. I studied a lot of the work that Jean Baudrillard has done. Uh, he's a French, cultural analyst, and so studies the society, and he's a fantastic writer and author. And one of my favorite books is The System of Objects. Now, the book is extremely old, but Jean Baudrillard, he basically, through his work, he states that no longer is technology going to be, well, now it is, but he was mentioning it 30 years ago, technology will no longer be an extension of the human body, more like the human, factor. Us humans are going to be an extension of a logistical system, a global, intranet, a global, interconnected network. So it's sort of, we're exchanging places, and those people who try to understand, try to learn, trying to sort of move forward with technology as it grows, and understanding exactly what's going on in the market, what investment is, how to make money, what cryptocurrency is, what is Bitcoin, what is foreign exchange, how to make money on both of those. These are the people that will end up in our little timeline that we had in the beginning of the presentation. Those are the people that will be able to achieve what people at 60 can't still achieve, will achieve it by 30, by 35, in the matter of years. So this was a little bit off topic, but this is a little bit of philosophy that I like to sort of include in my presentations. So we have to keep in mind that technology is extremely important, and we have to keep up to date with it. So let's get into the company. There's over 15,500 investors worldwide in over 80 countries. We've got, the flags represented there. We've got Russia, we've got China, we've got Australia, we got UK. Obviously, it is licensed in the UK, so we have a lot of investors in the UK, and over 5 legal entities, right? There are over 75 employees working worldwide on the company's development every single day. And there are scheduled offices in 6 countries at the moment, which is Kazakhstan, Russia, Belarus, Germany, Estonia, and India. So yeah, that's a little bit about, the team, so to speak. Now, it is important, now is sort of the beginning. The next couple of slides are going to be talking about really the licensing, the internal factors of how the company runs. Before we get into the numbers, before we get into the Nick, when am I going to make my money? How much am I going to make? You have to understand how a company works before I take any investment opportunity, whether it's property, whether it's, investing in a business or another opportunity, that or the other. You have to analyze, you have to analyze anything you do according to certain points. So for me, there's like around 35 aspects personally that I analyze a company with. One of these being, licensing, the partnerships that this company has, the owners, the registered capital that the company has. And for me, Sincere Systems ticks off all the boxes that I need to know. And that's somewhat the reason why I joined some time ago. Was because I started learning about it, I started studying it, and I realized that it's something for me. As an investor, I am interested in this instrument. Let's get into this. So Sincere Systems is in a partnership with DDS Incorporated. Now, what is DDS? What do they do? They are an IT services company. In fact, they're a huge name in the IT services, especially with the back end, with consulting, with IT services that they provide to their clients. Why is this important for us? We know that DDS is, the main company that supports companies like Morgan Stanley, JP Morgan, Deutsche Bank, BNP Paribas, among other companies, and Sincere Systems is one of them. So when I take a look at Sincere, I know that they are working with, the top of the class professionals in the IT industry to support their systems and to advise them how to grow. This is extremely, again, important when you're looking at the growth of a company. So let's move on. Here we can see the link, the official link to Sincere Systems Group licenses that you can see yourself. So following this link, you can see that there are several licenses that the company operates under, which allow it to, to run the company, to do the activities that they do, and makes it all legal and completely clear, for any investor. A lot of instruments that some of you are beginners, but a lot of you are professional traders, investors, and so on. You know that a company has to be licensed. At least at some point in time, you will have to look through what a company does and whether they are allowed to do it. In order to invest, in order to trust your money with someone, you need to know that this company genuinely exists. It's not just a website. This company is backed by partnerships. This company has a lot of businesses. This company runs, AI robots that make you a lot of money, like Sincere Systems. And these guys have to be licensed. This company specifically is licensed in the UK. And we can see here that the company does have a registered capital of £5 million, which is great because we know that a company is backed up by a certain amount of money that is invested. Excuse me. And we know that, one second. We know that a company is backed up by a certain amount of money. So everything is official, everything is clear, everything can be seen here. Another factor of sort of safety and the transactions, we all, come across the question of safety of online transactions. Like a lot of things, a lot of industries in the world, we have agriculture, we have finance, we have, business in general. There are global standards to be followed, right? There are global standards to be followed. And some of you may have heard of standardized, ISO regulations. And in this case, we are looking at a legal entity identifier, which Sincere Systems does have, which is great news. Specifically a standard ISO 17442, which basically means that they follow all the global rules or regulations in terms of reporting on, any transactions that go on within their company, which means all their transactions are clear and transparent. That's it. So that's the past couple of slides before we get into the mission, we start talking about making money. We have to understand that the past couple of slides were all about the transparency of the company. And obviously, if you have more questions, I will gladly answer them later on. And so this was an important part of the presentation for those of you who are especially new to investing, who had never heard of Sincere Systems. This was sort of, an intro to their backend, to their internal partnerships, and so on and so forth. So we see that. Let's continue. Sincere Systems' mission is to create a global financial ecosystem, which would allow each partner to use innovation services and earn on them. So the company wants to create a financial ecosystem that will not only allow them to grow, but allow their partners and their investors to grow with them, to make people money who are loyal, who believe in the company. And that's fantastic. This is a breakdown of their ecosystem. Pretty simple. There's 3 directions that we're looking at the company going in 3 different spheres. So the first, and sort of for anyone who's investing or hasn't invested in Sincere Systems yet, that the trading aspect is the most important for you specifically, right? Especially in the beginning when you're just learning the instrument, you're trying to get your money in, you're trying to, get your first sort of passive income running. Trading is, the first aspect that we're going to be looking at. Then we have the pharmaceutical aspect, which Sincere System has, and the finance ecosystem, which they are building. So their blockchain, we'll get into it later on. Let's begin with the trading. All right. So don't get confused. We're going to take our time with this specifically so that you understand how you will be making money with Sincere Systems. Now, on the right-hand corner, we can see that the average profitability for 2019 on a monthly basis was about 15.5%. This, my dear friends, is company profit. This is company profit, not your profit. This is how much the company has made on a specific month. And in 2020, the average was around 14.5. But we see that the average from the next couple of slides, like here, for example, we see that all the monthly company profits are depicted here. So there are times when, the company has made well over 20%. These are times when the market is extremely volatile. There are a lot of fluctuations, and on these speculation and fluctuations, the company makes their money. There are times when it drops below 10, but we see an average sort of scale of, going between, 13 and 17%. The average is around 15%. So let's get back to here. These are the basic packages that you can invest with the company. So here we see that an investment of, let's say, $25,000 will give you 80% of company profit. This is a ratio. Okay, so you're going to understand this now. I'm going to go through it in very much detail, a lot of detail. Let's say we invest $25,000. That means we are eligible for 80% of company profit, right? So we're eligible for 80% of company profit. If the company has made 15.5%, let's say this month, in 30 days, the company has made 15.5%. If you have invested $25,000, you will make 80% of that 15.5%, which means 12.4% is the passive income that you have made in this month. The company has made 15.5, you have made 80% of that 15.5%. Obviously, 20% will go to the company, as for their efforts and to pay the team and for the backup, the offices, the company has to run somehow and the company has to make money. Obviously, most of it goes to you. When you're investing, the more you invest, let me know, the more you invest, the more money you're going to be making, obviously. If you invest $100, then the company splits this with 50-50. You make 50% of the profits that the company is making and the company keeps the rest. So in that case, that's not a lot. So going into it and building up your portfolio with Sincere really is worth it, because you're not only making more money on your deposit, your percentage of income actually increases with each level that you're gaining with your investments. So from 100 to 500, I believe we've already taken a look at the trading statistics right here, right? So this is a great example. So let's say that a company has made 15.5% on a given month. Again, company profits, 15.5%. If you have invested between $100 and $500, you will be making 50% of that income. So 50% of 15.5 is 7.75%. Next, if you've invested between $500 and $1,500, you're eligible for 60% of company profits, which is 9.3% from the company profits of 15.5. If you have invested $25,000 to $50,000, you're eligible for 80%, as I mentioned before, and your passive income for that specific month will be 12.4%. So you can actually calculate how much you're going to make based on how much a company has made in the past month. All of these details are available through company webinars. Obviously this is an interview. This is an overview of the company. It's a presentation. So we don't have, we're not going to be working with actual numbers for this month or that month. This is the average that we're working with, and this is how much you can expect to make. Now, let's get into the fun part. So compound interest, the eighth wonder of the world. And honestly, one of my favorite aspects about investing is that almost everything you invest in, especially if you're looking at investments such as, hedge funds, investment funds, if you're looking at, AI robots who are making you a lot of money, you are really interested in compound interest. Now, some of you may remember the concept from math when you were back in school. A lot of you probably don't, but it's all right. We're going to go through it step by step. I'm going to explain it really easy. There's actually a formula that compound interest follows, which a lot of you who work in banks, who have a career, with finance, what compound interest formula is, and you probably know how it works. We're not going to use the formula. We're going to take it step by step, baby steps for you to understand how you can make money. Now, let's begin. So you just joined Sincere Systems and you decide to put $500 into the company, right? So we know that $500 will get you, according to the graph right here, will get you 60% of the company income, right? Considering that the company has made 15.5% this month, you will get 9.3% this specific month. So here we have on the left side, you can see the table. On the first month, you have put in $500 times by 9.3% that you will receive income in 1 month. You will be making $46.5, right? $46.5 is your income in 1 month from a deposit of $500 average. Again, these numbers are average. Now, how compound interest works, especially specifically in investment, that's what you're all here for, to listen to and understand, is that you want to grow your capital over time. You don't want to just, unless you're putting like, a huge amount, not a huge amount, but 25, 30, $40,000, you can expect to make great returns in a very short period of time. But remember the graphs that we talked about in the beginning of the webinar, we spoke about capital growth over time. You want your investments to grow with you, with your personal development, with your personality, the things that you're learning. Money has to make you more money and grow in and of itself. It's not just about pulling money out of a bank account. It's about growing capital over time. How can I turn $500 into $16,000, for example, in 3 years? Well, it's all thanks to compound interest. Now, how it works again is you've made 46.5%, $46.5, excuse me, and you reinvested. So you've made this money on the platform and you've reinvested back into your initial deposit. Now you don't have, on the second month here on the left side, you can see you no longer have $500, you have $546.5 times by your 9.3% that you are making on the monthly. Again, considering the company makes 15.5%. This month, the second month, you will be making $50.8. So you can see that in a matter of 1 month of you just putting your money back into the system, and with an amount as small as $46.5, you have actually increased your passive income in and of itself by a couple of bucks. Obviously, this is an example with $500. You can imagine what happens with amounts that are higher than $5,000, $10,000, $15,000, something that we will analyze now as well. On the third month, you've reinvested this $50 that you've made, and now you have $597.3 times that by the 9.3% that we've made in a month, which will mean the third month, your gains are $55.5. And it goes on and so forth, and you get the point. Now, if we take a look at month number 10 on the left side here, we see that by the 10th month, if you follow the reinvestment, and you keep putting this money that you're making over just 10 months, you've actually ended up with a deposit of $1,112. So you've actually made more in 10 months without taking your money out if you had just been taking out $46 every month. So there is a point of reinvesting and there is a point of compound interest. It is a long-term strategy. For some of you, that might be it. For some of you, you want to pull the money out, that's cool. Since your system is completely fine with that, you can take out your passive income every single month. Now, by the end of 12 months, we see that our $500 has turned into $1,452, right? Now, we know that $1,452, let's consider $1,500, we wait another couple weeks, and we already fall into a bracket that is the next level. We've been on the $500 to $1,500 deposit. Now we've got $1,500. Let's check it out how it works. Let's say you've just joined the company of $1,500. Same idea. You're getting into the company, or you've grown your capital from $500. It's become $1,500. You fall into a higher bracket. Now we see on the right side, $1,500 to $5,000 will fetch you 65% of the 15.5% average company profit, which means you're not going to be making 9.3% anymore. You're going to be making 10%. Great. So not only has your deposit increased, your passive income increased monthly, with the growth of your overall deposit, you are also growing the percentage income that you're achieving over time. So let's take a look here. On the first month, we've got $1,500 times 10%. Obviously, that's $150. So in the first month is something that you can expect from Sincere Systems. Again, considering the company makes 15.5%, maybe more, maybe a little less, no problem. Again, you reinvest, and over a couple of months, we see that on the 10th month, for example, again, you already end up with $3,535, and your passive income for that month is already $353. So you see that in the point is that you're growing your investment through compound interest, through reinvestment. And the point of all of this is that you don't just look at this as a short term. You look at this as a long-term perspective and a partnership that you are making with a company that has, the infrastructure and the programming and the team required to help you build your capital. Now, we end up after 12 months, if we invest $1,500, we end up with way over, just under $5,000, which means we fall into another bracket. Now, here we have an interesting factor. If you follow the scheme and you don't take out your money at all, You don't take out your money at all. So I'm just going to shift the camera here. There you go. If you don't take out your money at all and you just invest $1,500 in 3 years, you can expect to have $60,000 on your account. So you've only invested 1,500, but if you reinvest and you follow what I'm telling you, you can actually end up with a hell of a lot more. Like, the multiplier on it is crazy. And if you start understanding, this is part of, again, the philosophy that we were talking about in the beginning of, capital growth, valuing, understanding what money is, that every dollar has to bring you more money and not less. It doesn't have to lie around and, lose value over time. I would rather put my money in, a trustworthy instrument that will generate me cash. And here we are. So whether you're saving for an education for your kids, this is great. Instead of putting your money in a bank for, let's say, 5% interest yearly, mind you, yearly, banks have 5% average. At least in Russia, we're looking at, a maximum of 7%. That's the maximum I've seen. The average that I'm seeing around now with friends who are depositing with banks, and most of them aren't, is you're getting around 4 to 5%. I'm not going to name any banks specifically, but you know what I'm talking about. And you're talking about a 5% yearly income. What is 5% of $1,500? That's $75. So it depends where your goals are. If you're looking to increase your $1,500 deposit to, I don't know, 10 grand, 15 grand within 20 years, great. That's your sort of choice. That's your strategy. But there are much faster ways and much smarter ways. And this is why I always push people to understand how money works. How does money supply work in the company? How does money supply work in the economy? How does printed cash exist, and so on and so forth? This is the fun part of, investment. You start to understand and develop yourself. And you don't necessarily have to write books or create content or present this. But if you are a content creator, a networker, this is something to genuinely take into consideration and take seriously, because I'm telling you, the past couple of years has seen the beginning of the digitalization age. As I mentioned, I believe before in the presentation, the digitalization age sees us, integrating all into one system where everything is interconnected. Now, if you want to live above that system, you're gonna have to understand how it works. If you don't understand how it works, you're always going to be within the system, working for the man, so to speak. And the growth is just going to get stumped at some point. You go from janitor to CEO, but at some point, if you keep going down that path, you're going to understand that by your mid 40s, your mid 50s, there's no growth. And you realize that at any point within those 20 years, you could lose your job. Why lose your job when you can invest in something for a year or two and make a good bulk to start with, to start investing in? Now, let's look at the compound interest when we're looking at 5,000. And this is actually, my favorite example, because this is where you actually start to see, the big bucks. You start to see the value that you're getting from joining Sincere Systems, because you, first of all, if you invest between $5,000 to $10,000, you fall into the next bracket, which is 70% of company profit. That's what you get. So from 15.5%, again, we're making 70%. That is 10.85%. We had 9.3, 10. Now we have 10.85. So we invest $5,000. We make 10.85% in 1 month. That is $542.50. Today, you can invest $5,000 and expect to see around $500, income within the next 30 days at the end of the month, since the time you invest. Fantastic. $500 doesn't just lie around on the street. This is something that you can, do today. So again, we follow the reinvestment strategy, and we end up at the end of 12 months with over $17,800. Now we started with 5K, and within a year, 5,000 has grown to way over, itself. We made back our deposit, and we made another $7,800 on top. So, our income actually, it outgrew the initial deposit by over 2 times, which is great. Something you don't see in a bank that will promise you something to freeze your money for 3 years, and you get, like $100 in the first, obviously you don't go to a bank with a small amount, but still, this is not, you can't even compare. You cannot even compare. So if you invest $5,000 in 3 years, for 3 years, and with reinvestment, you can turn that into $315,000. So you see the difference between $500 and $5,000 is only $4,500, right? But the opportunity that you're creating and the time that you're shortening for yourself in terms of capital growth is extreme. So if you put $500 and leave it for 3 years, you only make so much. But if you put $5,000, only $4,500 more, you're making, 270,000, 200, more than $280,000, in profits. And this is something that $315,000 is a new house. It's not just a car. I mean, if you're into cars, that's your thing. If you're a family guy, you need a college education for your kids. This is definitely something that is worthwhile. That's a tuition fee for a university in a lot of countries, and not a cheap university either. That is pretty good. So we've taken a look at how the money sort of works and how you can make money on this. Obviously, feel free to go back in the presentation in the video once this is released officially, and you can contact me. I'll answer any questions directly. But here we can see how simple interest in comparison to compound interest works. Now, simple interest considers that you are not reinvesting the money. You're just taking out whatever deposit you've put in, you're adding up all the percentages that you've made. So if this company had been working on a simple interest basis, the growth of the company would only be 253%. The fact that it reinvests and that the money keeps flowing in and out, in and out, in and out, and the reinvestment is an actual thing. And the company in and of itself is making 5 times more in terms of capital growth over the same period of time. In 12 months, we can see here the numbers. You can pause you can just screenshot whatever and have a look. You can see that compound interest really is a thing. So this is just an example for you to understand how it differs from simple interest and why it is important to understand what strategy you're following with your financial portfolio. What strategy are you following with the financial instruments that you are using? Are you the long-term person who's going to make 971%? Let's say this is company profits, but you're going to make approximately that amount with whatever money you have, or you're going to make 250%, in the same period of time. So yeah, this was a little bit of a dive into how money works within the system and how you can make money starting today if you join Secure Systems. So let's take a look at medical cannabis. All right, great. So now we're going to see a lot of people sweating. This is something not a lot of people are used to. We mentioned before that the ecosystem of Sincere Systems has a direction in pharmaceuticals. Now, when we're talking about medical cannabis in these terms, right, we're talking about the pharmaceutical aspect of medical cannabis, right? And don't get excited. This is nothing illegal. This is a completely legal direction. We know that a lot of countries are legalizing medical cannabis for medicine, for cancer patients, and so on and so forth. I'm not a doctor. Doctors out there will know what I'm talking about. This is a huge industry and a lot of money to be made, and that's what we're really interested in. So let's take a quick look. I'm not going to really delve on this too deeply. It's, this is something that you can take a look in more detail later on. But the market size for world cannabis, both regulated and illegal, we're interested in the regulated, is estimated at $340 billion US. That's a huge market for medical cannabis. Despite extensive global restriction, more than 263 million people worldwide consume cannabis annually. More than 50 countries worldwide have legalized some form of medical cannabis. Also, 6 countries have legalized recreational use of cannabis by adults. I'm not going to mention the countries, but we see on the right-hand side the usage in terms of usage and the market size. All right, so the preliminary assessment talks about the project in and of itself, how the company plans to make money. So we have held the research and preliminary assessment through investment brokers on estimated value of the project on medical cannabis. So our company will cost over 50 million euro in case of the whole project realization. So if this project goes, comes to life, and it will definitely, we're seeing a lot of activity in terms of the investments that are going into this specific plan of growth. The company will be worth a lot of money, this specific project, not just the company, but this will bring the overall company value and the money that we all make at the end of the day to new heights. All right. So the expected company capitalization while launching the IPO which we will be taking a look at in other presentations, but this is also another option for those of you who are interested, is within 100 million euro. So the plan is that the company is registered in Portugal, all right, approved, and they have a cultivation project at hand. They have selected the location. Everything is set up. The infrastructure is all there. It's all planned out. It's all on paper. There's, certain license that then, obviously, this is a very sensitive topic for a lot of countries. So obviously there has to be a lot of licensing, and Sincere Systems, the management is really taking, a hard look on making sure everything is, tip top. Everything is legal, everything is licensed. There's no questions in what this medical cannabis will be used for, who it's going to be sold to, which distributors, in the pharmaceutical, whether it's, companies, I don't know if they work with Bayer, but companies that distribute within Portugal to the rest of Europe, to the US, and so on and so forth. Yes, so you can see here from the presentation that cultivating the high-end THC cannabis and selling the product at European markets in the USA, Canada, and Australia, and dry weight distribution to pharmaceutical companies for further processing. Let's not delve too deeply on this, but this is just one of the projects that Sincere Systems have. And this is the rounds that exist at the moment. So this is the financing of the project. Will depend on the amount of investment that you guys bring. So some of you might be interested. Some of you might be like, Nick, save me this medical cannabis, and I just want to invest money in the trading bot, or I want to invest in IPO, or you are interested and you want to see this project come to life. Obviously, you can see that the dividends on the raw product selling in terms of medical cannabis in the pharmaceutical grade would be 70 to 200%. Obviously, if you've invested in this project, you can expect the ratios that are listed on the right-hand side to be your sort of income. So that's what you're going to be sort of getting back. Income on the shares are times 10, times 20, times 30. There are currently 3 rounds. I believe the second round is still going, or the third round. I'm not sure. This is something that you need to have a look at and see on the official site. If you are interested, it's there. Sincere Pay. One of my favorite things to talk about in Sincere Systems is the ecosystem that they're building up. So the finance ecosystem that they're building up. There are a couple of aspects that go into the ecosystem, which is, first of all, S&T, which is their own decentralized token, a utility token, which we'll be talking about now. The S-Wallet, which is their wallet system where you can keep all kinds of currencies, a multifunctional payment system. And they have their own blockchain called the S blockchain. It's a completely new generation private blockchain network. So for those of you who understand what blockchain is, if you don't, then you can find a lot of material on this online. The fact that this company has its own blockchain network means that transactions and every single thing that goes on in the system is completely transparent. So something that you as a user and investor can see. It's not outsourced to some company or to this or that third party. This is something that is available and works on the system itself, So let's have a look. So the S&T utility token, this is a token that, supports the blockchain network. For the blockchain to work, you need to have a supportive currency that backs it up and helps it, realize all the transactions that you're making, the buying, the selling, the exchanging, entering the medical cannabis program, buying, packages on the investment packages that we've been talking about. This all has to go through the blockchain system, and obviously it's supported by the utility token. So this allows for transparent and instant financial transactions. As you can see here on the right side, actually, there is a picture, and last transactions block, that's the block that it is related to, and that is a specific transaction that had gone through, something that you can view when you're making transactions online. You can actually see these things going on, and you can see where the money's gone, or when it's going to arrive, and this is very important for a lot of investors like myself. I find it very important to see where my money is going, to see how it's working, to see the speed at which it is working. And when you have your own blockchain system, your own, network built up, this is extremely quick. So that is one of the huge, advantages. One thing that we're going to talk about now is the S-Wallet. So this is an extremely important part of the Sincere System ecosystem, finance ecosystem, sorry. This wallet is, it's a multifunctional payment system that has, Bitcoin. You can keep your Bitcoin, your Ethereum, you can keep your USDT. For those of you who don't know, USDT is the electronic sort of crypto form of your dollar, one for one. You can even keep euro and dollar fiat currency on there, as well as I believe there is TRON. I believe not Ripple. Yeah, TRON is there. And the Sincere token, obviously the utility token, you can keep on this wallet. This is great because, first of all, anything you do on the Sincere Systems ecosystem, you need to first of all put money into it, right? You need to invest in certain projects or invest in certain packages that are going to create a passive income for you. Now, in order to do that, you need to put money on the platform. So S-Wallet is the payment system that you use to invest in Sincere Systems in and of itself, whether it's buying tokens, whether it's investing according to all the math that we did in trading, whether it's investing in the pharmaceutical projects, it doesn't matter. So some of the advantages of the S-Wallet is it's extremely functional. As I mentioned, you can buy, store, convert cryptocurrencies all in one place. It's extremely fast. Any operations within the payment system are performed instantly. If I say so myself, I really like the Sincere Systems payment system. As an avid investor, I've seen instruments that don't have their own blockchain. They outsource it, or they have a system where the transactions take a lot of time. There are obviously a very small amount of companies like Sincere Systems who have a very fast transaction rate. So money comes and goes really quickly, within a matter of seconds, minutes. Security. Each account in the payment system has 3 levels of security degree. So we talked about some of the security and internal transactions with the LEI, legal entity identifier. And so this is part of that. This is the security of your transactions on the platform. Next, we have obviously the convenience, the simplicity of usage. There's no need to download anything on your device in order for it to work. You just access it and that's it. Next, we have, yes, you guessed it. This is actually something I really like about Sincere Systems, a really cool project that, they didn't just create a payment system, like it is sort of, there are exchanges, there are wallets, there is, Atomic Wallet or something where you can buy cryptocurrencies, you can keep your money on there, but you can actually have a debit card from Sincere Systems and use it, to buy products and services, to pay for your product or for your, groceries, so you can use the wallet in that sense. So it is all linked. So the debit card is linked to your online wallet, the S-Wallet. This is a really cool idea, which I think, they really like put a lot of time and thought into this. They didn't just stop on a wallet. They went with the next step and have their own debit card. This is something that definitely promotes trust, something that means that, this company really looks forward to growth and really wants to see the clients use the services and products that are available to them. So this is a really cool aspect. Right. The S blockchain. So this is something I've already mentioned. The private blockchain new generation network intended to ensure transparency, security, high productivity, and low transaction costs at all stages of cooperation within the system. Having your own blockchain system is extremely important, let alone that it's not a cheap thing to have. This is a very intricate investment from the side of the company, but the fact that they have built their own network, it really does support the fact that they are transparent and they're trying to create an ecosystem, a financial ecosystem that supports its users and helps its users understand what the hell is going on the system, to be transparent with everything that goes on. That's why this is another great aspect about them. Now, before you guys get confused, some of you may or may not know what staking is. So those of you who have been in investment for at least a couple of months will know that staking tokens, security tokens, specifically utility tokens, anything really, means you're putting in. We spoke about the S&T token in by itself. That it's a utility token that exists on the platform. You can buy this token similarly like you buy, Bitcoin, Ethereum, TRON, or whatever, USDT. You can buy S&T tokens, but this token is a utility token that is unique to the blockchain system of Sincere Systems. So how you can make money on this is the next question. This is the interesting part. So you can actually invest a minimum of 10,000 S&T tokens. You can buy these tokens on the platform. I believe now the price, if the last time I checked, I didn't write it down, was about 14 cents, about 14, 15 cents. So if we're talking about, 15 cents for one S&T token, 10,000 S&T tokens would be $1,500 investment. So that's just approximate. The price goes up over time. The more people come to the company, the more people invest in the company, in the S&T tokens, the more their price rises. Anyone who knows how a supermarket works or anything at all, how any market, physical or virtual, works, will know that the more users, the more people that buy sort of the bull, the more the price goes up. The more the demand, the more the price. And so this investment opportunity allows you to buy these tokens. You buy 10,000 minimum, and you invest them on a period of 30 days. What you receive is income in S&T tokens. So you're basically freezing your S&T tokens that you have bought, depositing them, just like you would deposit money in a bank. You freeze them up, and they generate you more sincere tokens. Now, not only is each sincere token, worth whatever, it might be worth $1. I'll get back to that, but it's worth 15 cents. So you're making money based on the amount of tokens that you make, but you're also this is a long-term investment for those of you who understand and get into how, Bitcoin grew. Bitcoin was worth nothing like 8-9 years ago. It was worth nothing. And now it's, it went up to 62 grand, and now it's hanging around, the 30s, 40s, which is insane, something that no one believed in. So this is another thing. If you believe in this token, if you believe in the price rising, to be honest, the price has risen, I believe, 3 times, a very small amount. I think about a cent or two in the past just 2-3 weeks. So people have started really, understanding and trying to learn how they can make money on this. So you can stake your S&T tokens to create more S&T tokens to receive them as income. Now you have to keep in mind that the S&T tokens will go up in price. So not only are you making yourself more S&T tokens, your tokens existing deposit and the money and the tokens that you have made will be worth a lot more. So now they're 15 cents, but once they're worth $1, you're making what, times 6 almost, I believe. Yeah, about times 6, just a little bit more on your initial investment. Your $1,500 can easily become 10 grand in the matter of a year. And this is just 10 grand in terms of 10 grand in S&T tokens, $1,500. You can invest more, you can receive rewards and dividends based on that as well. And the reinvestment is automatic. Okay, if there's any questions on that, we will get back to that later on. In order to have access to this, specifically this staking aspect of the company, this is not about anything else except the staking aspect. You need to subscribe to the packages. There is standard, pro, business, and premium. All the prices are listed, and this shows you the storage capacity. So how much of S&T tokens can you keep within the system? Otherwise, they will convert automatically to dollars. So in order to keep sincere tokens, over the period of not just 1 day, but 30 days, 6 months, 7 months, you need to be subscribed to this, specifically to this staking option, which is a subscription. You also get 5% from any partners that you sign up who are also invested in this. You will get tokens from that income as well. There is a tiny commission that you get for the support of the AI blocks that, take care of the algorithms and all that. But that is really nothing. Right. Partner program. So we've gone over, let's just quickly go over what we've been through. So we've been through how we can make money with Sincere. We've been through the philosophy of investing, a basic of it. I could talk about that for hours. I'm sure you don't want that. We've been over, the staking opportunities, the financial ecosystem, the wallet, the debit card, this, that, all the products we've sort of taken a look at. Now, obviously, now we need to take a look at the marketing. We've taken a look at the licensing. We've taken a look at all these aspects of the company. We need to understand how the company advertises itself, right? A lot of companies now, literally any company you go to has affiliate programs, has partner programs. You bring your friend, you get this. You bring your friend, you do that. You go to any cafe, buy, you bring your friend, you get an extra coffee free, something of that sort. Obviously, this is on a level of financial investment, and this is a partner program, or in other words, an affiliate program. I actually speak a lot about this in some of my, in some of my content that I create for my, my listeners. So let's get right into it. This is an income data table. Now we're gonna look at it piece by piece so that you understand how you can make money by growing not only your own income, but making money off growing your team, advertising the company, so to speak. We all know that the most effective marketing is, marketing that involves word of mouth. It's one thing to advertise on Instagram. It's one thing to advertise, who knows where, on I don't know, on TV. But it's a completely different scope, especially when something as as fragile of a topic as money. It's not something that you can advertise. You don't advertise, oh, you can make a lot of money with this company on the TV. First of all, a lot of countries are against that, simply because they need to protect their own infrastructure, their own banks, the government banks. So people go and deposit money. So obviously they're not going to be for advertising different sources of income for people who they want to go to work, go to your jobs, go to your factories. So this is sort of, again, back to the philosophy. And let's get back to the marketing. So you can make money on growing your team, right? So if you spread the word, whether in the United Arab Emirates or India or Portugal, Spain, wherever, in Russia, you can make, the company rewards its investors for spreading the word, and that is part of its marketing, So we can see here, for example, that you've invested, let's say, $100 into this, but you've brought in, you've told your friends, you've told, your family, you've told whatever, your schoolmates, your classmates, your colleagues at work. You've said, hey guys, I've got this great opportunity, and I just started learning about it. You bring them in, and if your team, anyone who signs up through you, obviously you've done this marketing for them, you get, let's say the team turnover is $25,000. So let's say roughly you've signed up like 5 people who've invested a certain amount of money. These 5 people have also brought about a couple of people join, and your team turnover is $25,000. The company pays you $1,000 reward if you have a team turnover of $25,000. Considering the fact that you have only put in $100 of your own, obviously you would want to put more, because this is not the main source of your income. Your main source of income should be you growing your own passive income. Before telling about it to others, and like I do myself, I give you this presentation. I wouldn't have given this presentation if I wasn't well invested into the company itself. So we can see that, it goes up in levels, and not only are you getting rewards at all the levels that are above 3, you get a percentage income from the income that your team receives. So let's say I signed up, Thomas, for example. I signed up Thomas, and Thomas, joined Sincere Systems, and he invested $100, right? He invested $100. First and foremost, if I have a level 4 and my team turnover is 25,000, I will get a 10.5% from his income. We know that Thomas will make around $8-9. If he invests $100, he will make around 7-8%. That's around $7-8. I will get 10% of that. If Thomas, puts in $1,000, if I'm level 4, I will get 10.5% of his income. So Thomas makes per month, let's say $100. I will make $10 just because he's part of my team and I'm helping him grow. I introduced him to this subject, and so on and so forth. Right, so this is how the affiliate works. Obviously, you can see on the higher levels, you're going at level 6, level 7. When you really, if you really want to embrace this, it's not for everyone. Some people are into growing their own income. Some people I know have hundreds of thousands of dollars and they're willing to invest, and just work on their own thing. Some people want to diversify how they make their passive income. So you can make money not only from your own deposits, you can make money from marketing the company, right? So it's like you go to work. Those of you who are in marketing will go to work, and you're sitting behind the chair and you're doing maybe most of the stuff that you're doing is not something that you like. you're getting paid for it, but you're advertising, you're marketing the company and so on. You tell everyone, hey, I'm working at here, I'm working at there. Same thing here, except you're actually doing something that you like, and you're working with a product, the Sincere System ecosystem, that actually you're not selling shampoo, you're not selling anything, you're selling passive income. So if you are into it and you want to get into it, you can. This is an opportunity for you to make an extra income and receive rewards. So the company actually bases its entire marketing, a lot of its marketing, on referrals and the word of mouth sort of thing, in order for users not just to invest, to understand how the company works. And you can see here that at level 9, if your team turnover is $3 million, considering you've only made an investment of 30,000, you will get a $150,000 bonus. You will just get that bonus on the day that your team turnover is 3 million, And we'll take a look at the breakdown of how many people have achieved these levels so far. But we need to understand that there's only 15,500 investors so far in the company, and it is growing very quickly. So the more it grows, the less opportunity you have to grow your partner program. Again, this isn't the main product of the company that you should consider. This is part of the many things that this company does, from trading to pharmaceutical to, this is just the way that I like to present, because it helps people understand how, if I don't have such a huge investment, but I have, let's say, a huge network. Let's say I'm a social media star or a Twitter star. Sorry, not Twitter, TikTok star, sorry, Twitter star. But it doesn't matter if you have a huge network, you have a lot of friends, you have a lot of people who are investors who but you yourself maybe don't have the capital to invest. You can use that to your advantage. So the partner program is built to suit everybody, and that is the beauty of Sincere Systems. So we've taken a look at the marketing. Let's take a look at, yes. So we saw from the levels before that we have at level 2 and level 3, team turnover 3,000, team turnover 10,000. You can already achieve those levels today by actually making the deposit yourself. So the team turnover that you have in your structure actually takes into account your own deposit. So if you put $3,000 today, you already go to level 2, and you already, without even anyone signed up to you through your referral, you already have achieved that level. So you can invest, let's say, $25,000, $30,000. You will achieve a level. You will get a reward for investing that amount. We see here. This is sort of more detailed. This is something that we can discuss, after the presentation, whenever you guys contact me if you would like to know more. But there are ways to actually make it more profitable for yourself. So you can, with the availability of $10,000 on your account, you are already eligible for level 3, and any passive income you receive, any passive income that your team receives, you will already be getting 9%, not 5%. If you had invested only $100, you would only had 5% income from these investments. So it's better to grow your capital just a little bit, achieve those first couple levels, and then bring on, your friends and so on and so forth, grow your network, so to speak. Right. In terms of withdrawal, this is really important. So this is, when do I get my money out? How does it work? And so on. And this is the big question, that most of you will have. So we know how to put money in. We know how it goes. What's going in the company. How do we get our money, Nick? Well, here you go. The deposit that you put in initially, let's say you've deposited $5,000, can only be touched after the 4th month. The 4th month. So the first 4 months, you cannot touch your deposit. So let's say you put $5,000, you cannot touch them, you cannot take them out, you cannot withdraw them. Between the 4th and 12th month, so 4 months have passed, you can already take out your entire deposit, right? And up until the deposit stays there for 12 months, you will have to pay a 15% commission. This, I'll explain why this is and why this is extremely important and why this has to exist. Otherwise, it will just not work. So the commission for withdrawal after 12 months have passed on your deposit is actually 0%. So the income from the deposit that you receive, which we spoke about, the money that we can make from the very first month, that is your passive income, so to speak. You can withdraw that optionally. You don't have to. You can reinvest it, or you can withdraw it every single month from the very first month. So any money you actually make with your deposit, you can take out anytime. I mean, anytime, you can take out from the first month that you make money. And obviously we spoke about the partner program. Whatever rewards you receive, that you can take out anytime as well. They go directly to your wallet. So yeah, the reason why this is extremely important, and some people have asked me this question, is like, why do they have to, have the 4-month thing? Why do we have to have the, the money kept in there for 4 months, and why is there a commission? Well, think about it like this. If a person invests, the point is that the person grows with the company, right? The company wants people to grow with them and to understand how the company grows and to be there with the projects and to be loyal. First of all, this, from my perspective, I'm a marketing major, by the way. If you want, I will tell you all about myself at the end. But I am a marketing major, and I will tell you that one of the main rules that you want to handle in terms of marketing and keeping a stable sort of internal economy and infrastructure is loyalty. You want people to be loyal with you. Ask any bank that exists for the past 100, 200 years. A lot of them promote that they've existed for a couple hundred years, and a lot of them have gone bankrupt in those 200 years. But when you ask them, where are you, what about your history, they're like, oh, that was another bank. So this doesn't have anything to do with Sincere Systems specifically. The point is that any bank will tell you that they want to keep your money. If you go to a bank and you want to deposit, let's say, I don't know, $1 million, and they give you a certain percentage income, let's say, whatever, 10% per year income, they will freeze your money for 3 years at least. Oh, you can talk with them. Usually they freeze for 2 to 3 years, and only then you can start taking your money out. Same thing, except the time is much less, because obviously the amounts are not as big. There is options for $100, $500, $5,000, and so on. The most important thing they need to keep in mind is, by the time a year passes, you will have already taken that money out in terms of withdrawals. You would have already made that in passive income. And if you're into, social media and networking and spreading the word and being part of the marketing aspect, the partner program of the company, you will have already triple, quadruple, 10-fold increased your deposit by the time you even want to take it out. So by the time you can take it out with zero commission, you're going to be like, what? That's all I invested? I've already made 50 grand, So there's no, this is the point. So this is the philosophy. Again, we're going back to the philosophical aspect of investing. It's long-term. You're not putting in $100 to make $8, right? Who cares about $8? I can make $8 in my sleep. You care about growing your income and taking time and being loyal to certain instruments over time. I believe, yes. So this is, again, part of the partner program. These are the partners you can see on the left side here. These are the levels. And then we have the amount of people, the partners, the amount of turnover that they have achieved, and the amount of rewards that they received. So we can see that 304 people already. It's more. This statistic is from a couple days back, I think 2 days back. 304 people have achieved level 4, which is a team turnover of $25,000, and have received $1,000 as a reward. So 304 people have received $1,000 already, just for marketing the company and advertising. This is, again, completely up to you. This is just an extra income that you can receive. And we can see that 20 people have achieved turnovers over $1 million and have received rewards of $50,000. Fantastic. Honestly, from a reward program scheme and from an affiliate program, the rewards that we see on Sincere Systems are much higher than what we see on other programs, to be honest with you. And there aren't many out there. So a lot of other instruments, in the investment portfolio that you have, will not be able to pay you out such rewards for the marketing that you do for them. And we can see that one person, I know that person very well, has a team turnover of $25 million. The bonus for him right there was $1 million. Not bad at all. Free money right there. So this has nothing to do, again, with you don't have to deposit a lot of money to get rewards like these. You can just market the company and receive rewards parallel to your deposit. Thank you so much, everyone. It's been a very good presentation. Let me just check the time there. It's already 6:05. Not bad. We know an hour presentation. I think we went over a lot of points. We went over very important for the philosophy that goes into investing. We went over the company, Sincere Systems Group, all the internal aspects. We went over the licensing. We went over the registered capital that the company has. We've gone over practically most of what I would say is the most important part of the overview. This presentation was, I would say, very thorough. Most of the presentations that I give on Sincere Systems aren't as thorough as this, but it is my very first official, an invite as a speaker to Sincere Systems. Again, I want to thank every single one of you for listening, for taking the time, for understanding, for learning financial literacy with me today. I want to thank you for that. I want to thank the Sincere Systems team for organizing this and allowing me to speak. I love spreading the word about things that help people create passive incomes. Now, whether you're old, young, it doesn't matter what class you are, where you live. If you're in Dubai, if you're in Moscow, if you're in London, if you're in Frankfurt, it doesn't matter. Whoever you are, if you open your mind up to investment with Sincere, you will be making great investment in not only in the company that you can trust, you're also making an investment into your own future, into your own learning, into your own development. And this is extremely important. I would like to thank everyone today for joining me. And definitely this video, I think, will be available for you, for the viewers. And last couple of words, if you would like to contact me directly, please feel free to go on and follow my Instagram. That's NIKOLAY_world-class, Nikolai_world-class, or hit me up through my contacts at financenick.com. That's my personal site. You can do that, and I will gladly, answer any questions you have on Sincere Systems and how you can progress. I'd like to thank you again. Have a lovely day. Happy investing. And this was Finance Nick. Again, have a lovely, lovely day. Thank you.